The full How to Play It Today breakdown is linked in the description on theircheck.com. The useful question with Solomon's Key is not whether it matters historically, it is whether a modern player should actually start it now. My answer? Yes, but only with caveats, and only if you know what kind of pain you are buying into. Solomon's Key still makes sense today because its core idea is strong. You create and destroy blocks, climb through compact puzzle rooms, manage enemies, and try to solve under pressure. It is not just a puzzle game, and it is not just an arcade platformer. The friction comes from the way those two halves collide. That collision is also the reason many players should skip it. If you want a calm, readable, puzzle-first retro game, Solomon's Key can feel hostile. It asks for planning, timing, repetition, and a tolerance for old design that does not always explain itself. A wrong move can cost you. A small execution mistake can undo a good idea, and hidden knowledge is part of the historical texture, even if it is not the best part for a first-time player today. So the recommendation is selective. If you like action puzzle games that make you earn progress, Solomon's Key is absolutely still worth a look. If you are just browsing retro games for something breezy on a Sunday afternoon, this is probably not the one. There is also an important alternate path. Fire and Ice, also known as Solomon's Key 2, may be a better starting point if what interests you is the puzzle side more than the arcade pressure. It is not a replacement for Solomon's Key, but it matters as a cleaner entry point for some players. Now, legal access. For most people, the best way to play Solomon's Key today is the NES version through Nintendo Entertainment System, Nintendo Classics, on Switch. It is the easiest recommendation because it is official, modern, and includes the conveniences that make this kind of game less punishing, especially saving and rewind. The main official alternative is Arcade Archive's Solomon's Key on Switch, or PlayStation 4. That is the route for people who want the arcade version as a standalone purchase. It is the more purist option. It is also not the version I would hand to most curious newcomers first. Older Virtual Console releases on Wii, 3 desiccants, and Wii U may matter if you already own them, but they are not the practical purchase route now. Do not build your plan around old storefronts that are no longer normal buying options. So why start with the Nintendo Classics version? Because Solomon's Key is hard enough without making the access path or the learning process more stubborn than it needs to be. The NES version is not the arcade original. Purists will care about that, but for a first-time player, save and rewind are not cheats in the moral sense. They are friction reducers. They let you understand why a room worked, why it failed, and whether the game's rhythm is actually for you. The Arcade Archives release has a real place. If you specifically want the arcade game, or you care about a more faithful version, choose that. But the best first step is the version that gives you room to learn before the game grinds you down. Here is what a modern first-time player should know before starting. Do not approach Solomon's Key like a relaxed block puzzle. Approach it like a room-by-room execution puzzle. The solution is only half the job. You also have to perform it while enemies move, timers matter, and your own block placement can trap you or save you. Use the convenience features if you have them. Rewind is especially valuable because it keeps the lesson close to the mistake. Without that, you may spend more time repeating than learning. Also, do not expect the game to teach you gently. Its charm is in that strictness, but so is the barrier. You should be ready to experiment, fail, and replay. A light guide can help if you hit a wall, but a full walkthrough is the wrong way to begin. The better approach is to learn the language of the rooms first, then look up help only when the game stops being interesting. So, should you play Solomon's Key today? Yes, if you want a sharp, demanding action puzzle game and you are willing to meet it halfway. Start with Nintendo Classics if you want the lowest friction legal path. Choose Arcade Archives if you specifically want the arcade original. Skip it if your patience for harsh 80s puzzle platform design is low, because Solomon's Key is not here to be cozy.